This will be the People News.
2. Name of administrative agency, address, city, state, zip code. From your address, city, state, date. Subject, notice of liability. Notice to agent is notice to principal. Notice to principal is notice to agent. This is a lawful notice of liability. All parties are advised to review this notice thoroughly. Your failure to rebut this notice, point by point, within 21 days of receipt, shall constitute your tacit agreement to its terms, and you will be held personally liable for any trespass or harm resulting from actions or omissions in violation of my rights. Declaration of facts. 1. I, your full name, am a living man woman under the jurisdiction of natural common law. I do not consent to any administrative jurisdiction unless explicitly agreed upon in writing. 2. The Constitution of the United States of America secures my unalienable rights, including but not limited to the right to life, liberty, and property, the right to travel freely and unencumbered, the right to contract or not to contract without undue interference. 3. Any infringement on my rights without my voluntary informed consent constitutes trespass, breach of trust, and fraud. 4.
Still on 3. Battery and domestic abuse.
Administrative agencies, as creations of statutory law, are bound by their oaths of office to respect the Constitution and the rights of individuals. 5. Any actions taken against me without proper jurisdiction, lawful authority, or my consent will result in liability, both in a private and public capacity. Notice of terms. By this notice, I make it known that 1. Any attempt to compel performance under statutes, codes, regulations, or policies without a valid, lawful, and mutually agreed contract is null and void. 2. Any trespass against my rights, property, or person by administrative agency or its employees, contractors, or representatives will result in a claim of liability and pursuit of remedies through lawful means. 3.
And not limited to jail time.
I reserve the right to exercise my rights under natural common law, including but not limited to issuing affidavits of truth, pursuing private claims, and seeking damages for trespass. 4. Any future correspondence, orders, or demands must include proof of jurisdiction, a copy of the oath of office of the agent making the claim, documentation substantiating the authority for any demand made upon me. Notice of liability. If you or your agency take any action that results in harm, loss, or injury to me or my property, you agree to the following terms. 1. Personal and corporate liability for damages in the amount of per amount per occurrence. 2. Immediate remedy and restitution for any harm caused. 3. Acceptance of responsibility for all legal and financial consequences arising from your actions. Method of response. You may respond to this notice by providing a point-by-point rebuttal within 21 days of receipt. Failure to respond shall be taken as agreement with all terms herein and acceptance of liability. Affirmation. I declare under penalty of perjury, under the laws of the United States of America, that the foregoing is true and correct. By your full name, witness name. Service of notice. This notice was served on date to name of recipient at address. Proof of service is attached herewith. Part 2, Affidavit of Truth. I, your full name, a living man woman, competent to testify, hereby affirm and declare the following as true, correct, and not misleading to the best of my knowledge. 1. I am a sovereign being under the jurisdiction of natural common law, endowed by my Creator with unalienable rights. 2. I retain full ownership of my life, liberty, and property, and I do not consent to any infringement upon these rights without my explicit, informed, and written agreement. 3. I do not consent to the jurisdiction of any administrative or statutory entity unless such jurisdiction is lawfully proven and voluntarily accepted by me. 4. Any attempt to compel performance under statutes, codes, or regulations without a valid, mutually agreed contract is unlawful and null. 5. I reserve all rights without prejudice under natural common law, including the right to travel, contract, and defend my person and property. 6. Any harm, loss, or trespass against my rights, property, or person shall result in full liability, both in private and public capacities, to the responsible party. I declare under penalty of perjury under the law.
7. I don't never imply. So if there's any misunderstanding, the party must have meetings of the minds to I for clarification, since there's no implied consent. And do not take any and all implied consent of facts.
Of the United States of America that the foregoing is true and correct. Signature, date, witnessed by, witness name and contact information.
These will be the People News.